Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayasva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Omagnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Canto 4 Chapter 7 Verse 42. Deva Uchuhu Pura Kalpa Paye Swakritam Udari Vikritam त्वमेवाद्यस्तस्मिन् सरिल उरगेन्द्राधिशयने माञ्चेशे सिद्धैर्हृदि विमृ विमृशि विमृशिताध्यात्मपादवै पादविः स एवाद्याक्ष्णोर्याः पति चरसि भृत्यानवसिनः. The demigod said, Dear Lord, formerly when there was a devastation, you conserved all the different energies of material manifestation. At that time, all the inhabitants of the higher planets, represented by such liberated souls as Sanaka, were meditating on you by philosophical speculation. You are therefore the original person, and you rest in the water of devastation, on the bed of the Shesha snake. Now today you are visible to us, who are all your servants. Please give us protection. The devastation indicated in this verse is the partial devastation of the lower planets within the universe when Lord Brahma goes to sleep. So there are four types of devastations. First one is when Brahma goes to sleep, that is every his 12 hours. There's a partial devastation. I mean, this partial devastation, all the lower planets are destroyed up to Maharloka. And then when the higher planet systems, beginning with Maharloka, Janloka, Tapaloka, are not inundated at this time of devastation. So all the lower planets are um, mer- merged into water. They submerged into water. The Lord is a creator as indicated in this verse because the energies of creation are manifested through his body. And after annihilation, he conserves all the energy within his abdomen. So Mahavishnu, everything comes out of him, and even partial annihilation, all the jivas enter his body. Full annihilation, everything enters his abdomen. Again, when the time comes for the next creation, everything comes out of him. Mm. So he is the original creator. Another significant point in this verse is that the demigod said, We are all your servants, Prityan. Give us your protection. The demigods depend on the protection of Vishnu. They are not independent. So when people go to demigods and pray for protection, that protection actually comes from Vishnu only, indirectly. So that is why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says worshipping demigods is avidhi. Mm, It's not approved because actually they are not independent. Everything they depend on Vishnu. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying directly come to me. Mm. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Bhagavad Gita therefore condemns the worship of demigods because there is no need of it and clearly states that only those who have lost their sense, those who have lost their sense, go asking favors of the demigods. Generally, if anyone has material desires to be fulfilled, he can ask Vishnu instead of going to the demigods. Akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta parasham param. So you can go to Vishnu. Don't have to go to demigods. Those who worship demigods are not very intelligent. Mm. And sometimes now our devotees also are worshipping demigods. Speculation. Besides that, the demigods say, We are your eternal servants. So those who are servants or devotees of the Lord are not very much concerned with fruitive activities, performance of prescribed yagnas or mental speculation. So this is karma, yagna, jnana. All this is not for devotees. They simply serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead sincerely with love and faith. And this is the most important thing actually we have to remember every time. Hmm. Mostly when we are doing service uh, for Krishna, we kind of tend to come on the material platform. We look at those things as material. Mm, mm, no, we should not look at them as material. We should look at them as a offering of love to Krishna. If you are going through struggle, if you are, I'm seeing like two Janmastamis, one Janmastami last Monday, another Janmastami today in Vijayanagar, and devotees are all, so many services. Everybody is so busy. We have to just raise our consciousness to just remember that this is all loving offering to Krishna. Otherwise, why would somebody put so much effort and to celebrate Krishna's birthday? It's just because of love. It's an indication of the love they have. Mm. Mm, But if you don't remember that, then we'll come down to the material platform. We will act on the material platform. That's not very. Krishna accepts all our services, but he likes it more when there is love and affection. So we should do it with little love. If we don't have love for Krishna, then we can have love for somebody who is giving us service. It could be our superiors, our mentors, whoever it is. So somehow we have to develop that. Mm, um, Devotional service should be with love. And faith, of course, faith. Faith that whatever we are doing, Krishna will accept. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Mm, Complete understanding of Krishna's position. And trusting Him, saying that whatever happens in our life, if we are serving Him lovingly, He is going to take care. See, performing everything with that loving service. And Lord gives such devotees direct protection. Very simple. If we are serving Krishna with love and faith, He will give us protection. Direct protection. Now, this protection is not like a business. Because Krishna seeing that these devotees are doing my work in the material world, they're working for me. So if I have to protect them, because if I don't protect them, then who is going to continue the service? So he will give protection, direct protection. Prabhupada is writing here, direct protection, not through any other agent, not through any other agency. And when the Lord is directly giving protection, whatever happens in the life of a devotee is completely the Lord's desire. We are just bewildered because we fail to remain on the material platform, and this is the reason we fail to remain on the spiritual platform. And this is the reason, Prabhupada makes statements like pure and simple spiritual life. See, because if we are just living, if you are still attached to material things, wealth, money, this, that, and all that, then we remain bewildered because then our consciousness will remain on the material platform. Mm. So we should raise above the material platform, for which main thing is giving up this attachment to material things. We should give up attachment to material things. Otherwise, it's very difficult to come to platform of loving service. Otherwise, it will all be business. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, simply surrender unto me and I will give you protection from all reactions of sinful activities. What more do we want? Hmm. This material world is so created that one has to act sinfully, knowingly or unknowingly. And unless his life is dedicated to Vishnu, he has to suffer all the reactions. See, simple. But one who surrenders and dedicates his life. See, this is the important point. We have to dedicate our life to Krishna. Of course, dedicate doesn't mean that we stop working or we stop doing our duties. Dedicate means doing everything as a offering to Krishna. Mm. That is why even people who are working absolutely would work, take care of your family, but only as much as is required. Only as much as is required. Mm. Mm. Krishna willing, we might start thinking about a temple in Holimau. And we are now going to be dependent on so many people. who have to dedicate their life for building this temple. Otherwise, it's not going to come up. It's not going to be the effort of one person, right? But that dedication is required, which means before we think about my home, I have to think about Krishna's home. Only then this dedication will come. And today we earn money, we say, okay, so much I've saved for myself. But that's not what is expected of devotees. Of course, I mean, Rupa Goswami taught us 25% can be kept for emergency, for future. But we don't do that because we don't have faith in Krishna. Mm. We will go all the we'll do whatever it takes for our material progress. But when it comes to doing something big for Krishna, we have our own reasons. Anyway, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tateva bhajamiham. So to the extent we surrender and dedicate ourselves to Krishna, to that extent Krishna will take care of us. So here Prabhupada is saying, one who surrenders and dedicates his life for service of the Lord has direct protection. So Krishna gives full protection for that devotee. Hmm. He has no fear of suffering from some sinful activities, nor does he desire willingly or unwillingly to do anything which is sinful. So both these are important. No fear and also not wanting to do anything sinful. So we have to surrender and dedicate. This is the only way we can perfect our life. And this is the life of Krishna consciousness. Mm. Um, and devotees generally look at the spiritual activities separate from their material life, and they complain about, I don't have time because I have so much on the material front. But that's because we are looking at these two things separately, differently, like as two different things. But they're not two different, they're actually one only. The material also should actually be doubted, used in Krishna's service only. So there are no two services, there's only one service, which is serving Krishna. And that serving Krishna, different people do through different mechanisms. Some go to work, earn money, and serve. Some other serve by taking care of the home, etc., etc. Right? But eventually, everybody's desire or everybody's goal should be to surrender and dedicate their life for the service of the Lord. Mm. So I was thinking, okay, if we have to build a temple, okay, I'm not working, so nobody's going to give me a loan if I ask. But then I want to see how many devotees are willing to take up this, saying, okay, I will take loan to build Krishna's temple. And yeah, everybody will then pitch in and help financially. But that is surrender, that is dedication. So we will see, we will know now as things unfold in the next few days, weeks. Then we will know how much surrendered, right? Because it's one thing to just come and do whatever service is possible. It's another thing to dedicate our life for Krishna. Gandharva uchu अंशांशास्ते देवमारीचाद्ययेते ब्रह्मेन्द्राद्या देवगणा रुद्रपुरोगाः क्रीडा भाण्डं विश्वमिदं यस्य विभूमन् तस्मै नित्यं नाथ नमस्ते करवामा. Gandharva said, Dear Lord, all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Brahma, and Indra, along with Marichi and other great sages, are all only differentiated parts and parcels of your body. You, the Supreme Almighty, great. The whole creation is just like a plaything for you. We always accept you as the Supreme Person of Godhead, and we offer our respectful obeisances to you. The Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. There may be many gods, from Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, down to the rulers of lower planetary systems, and presidents, ministers, chairmen, kings. In fact, anyone can think that he is God. That is the false, puffed up conviction of material life. We all think that we are gods and we are here to enjoy. Actually, Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, but there is even one above Vishnu, for Vishnu is also a plenary portion of a part of Krishna. In this verse, this is referred to by the word Amsham Shaha, which refers to part and parcel of a part and parcel. Amsha Amsha. There are similar verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which indicate that the Supreme Lord's parts and parcels again expand into other parts and parcels. Amsha expands into Amsha, and that is called Kala. As described in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many manifestations of Vishnu and many manifestations of living entities. Vishnu manifestations are called Swamsha. mm, Partial manifestations. Living entities are called Vibhinnamsha, separated manifestations. The demigods like Brahma and Indra have been promoted to such exalted positions by pious activities and austerities. But actually, Vishnu or Krishna is the master of everyone. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabhavritya. This means that Krishna alone is the supreme person of Godhead, and all others, even the Vishnu Tattva, and certainly the living entities are his servitors. Baladeva is the immediate expansion of Krishna. He also engages in the service of Krishna. And certainly the ordinary living entities are serving. So Balram is called Sevaka Bhagavan. Krishna is Sevya Bhagavan. Mm. Everyone is created constitutionally for serving Krishna. See, everyone is created constitutionally, meaning the reason they are in existence is for serving Krishna. Here the Gandharvas acknowledge that although the demigods may represent themselves as the supreme, actually they are not supreme. Real supremacy belongs to Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is the only supreme Lord. Worship of Krishna alone, therefore, includes worship of all the parts and parcels, just as watering the root of a tree also waters all the branches, twigs, leaves, and flowers. So we should stop being gods and we should start being servants. Till the time we have this desire to become masters, how can we become servant? And that is why in all our interactions, we should take the position of servants. If in any interaction, for example, either at home or office or whatever, we take the position of master, then we can never become wholeheartedly servant of Krishna. Then we'll become servants, meaning in some certain circumstances we are servants, in other circumstances we are masters. It's always, that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a simple phenomena, simple formula. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari, trinadapi suniche. Will we come to this mood in all our dealings, 24 hours of our day, we should be in the mood of servant, in whomever we are interacting with. Only then we can become kirtaniya sadari. If you are trying to become masters in any situation, scenario, relation, etc., then it's very tough. Vidyadhara uchuhu. त्वन्माययार्थम् अभिपद्य कलेवरेऽस्मिन् कृत्वा ममाहम् इति दुर्मतिर् उत्पत्तैः स्वैः क्षिप्तोऽप्यसद् विषयलालसात्ममोहं युष्मत् कथामृतनिषेवक उद्व्युदस्येत्. Vidyadhara said. All these people are all people in higher planetary systems. Dear Lord, this human form of body is meant for attaining the highest perfectional objective. But impelled by your external energy, the living entity misidentifies himself with this body and with the material energy. And therefore, influenced by Maya, he wants to become happy by material enjoyment. So they are giving the exact reason how we are all suffering. He's misled and always attracted by temporary illusory happiness, isn't it? Always attracted. How much ever we hear that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul, Maya is just binding. How much ever we hear, we simply become attracted by temporary illusory happiness. That is why tapasya, austerities have to be performed. Some renunciation also has to be performed. Simplifying our life is required. Otherwise, we'll continue to be attracted. But your transcendental activities are so powerful that if one engages in hearing and chanting such topics, he can be delivered from illusion. The human form of life is called arthada because the body can very nicely help the embodied soul to achieve the highest perfection. Prahlad Maharaja said that even though temporary, the body can give us the highest perfectional achievement. In the process of evolution from the lower to the higher grade of living, the human form of life is a great boon. But Maya is so strong that in spite of achieving this great boon of the human form of life, we are influenced by temporary material happiness and we forget our goal of life. We are attracted by things which will cease to exist. The beginning of such attraction is the temporary body. In this horrible condition of life, there's only one way of liberation to engage in the activities of transcendental chanting and hearing of the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The words Yushmat Katamrita Nishevakaha mean those who engage in relishing the nectar of topics of your Lordship. There are two narrative books which especially concern the words and activities of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is the instruction given by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the book containing topics exclusively about Krishna and his devotees. These two books are the special nectar of the words of Krishna. For those who engage in the preaching of these two Vedic literatures, it is very easy to get out of the illusory conditioned life imposed upon us by Maya. So if we want to get out of Maya's hold, what we should do? Preach. Preach. We should preach. The illusion is that the conditioned soul does not try to understand his spiritual identity. And when we are preaching every day, every moment, we are just saying, I'm not body, I'm spirit soul, I'm not body, I'm spirit soul. At least it will remain in our head. And eventually we'll come out. We'll come out of the grips of Maya if we preach. He's more interested in his external body, which is only a flash and which will be finished as soon as the time is designated. When the time comes, it will be finished. The whole atmosphere will change when the living entity has to transmigrate from one body to another. Under the spell of Maya, he will again be satisfied in a different atmosphere. The spell of Maya is called Avaranatmika Shakti, covering potency. Because it is so strong, the living entity is satisfied in any abominable condition. Even if he is born as a worm living within the intestine or abdomen in the midst of urine and stool, still he is satisfied. Just imagine. Worm is crawling in stool and it is satisfied. This is the covering influence of Maya. But the human form of life is a chance to understand. If one misses this opportunity, he is most unfortunate. The way to get out of illusory Maya is to engage in the topics of Krishna. Chaitanya advocated a process whereby everyone may remain in his present position without change, but simply hear from the proper authoritative sources about Krishna. Chaitanya advised everyone to spread the word of Krishna. Everyone. Yare deko tare kaho. Amaya Agnaya, Guru Hoya Tara Ye Desh. Everybody has to become Guru by spreading the word of Krishna. And what is Krishna saying? Man mana bhava mad bhakto. That's all. He advised all of you become spiritual master. Your duty is simply to talk to whomever you meet of Krishna or of the instructions given by Krishna. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is operating for this purpose. Please remember this. We are here not for our selfish goals, to accomplish any selfish goals. I will go back to Krishna. No, that's not ISKCON. ISKCON is Prabhupada's mood, Prahlad Maharaj's mood. We will all go back to Krishna. So we have to talk to whomever we meet, we have to talk about Krishna. But for this we need humility. We need compassion. Only then this will happen. We do not ask anyone to first change his position and then come to us. Instead, we invite everyone to come with us and simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because we know that if one simply chants and hears the topics of Krishna, one's life will change. And one's life has to change. See, if we are hearing topics about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, if our life is not changing, then we are doing something wrong. Because the process is supremely powerful. One's life will change. He will see new light. And his life will be successful. No question of not changing. No question of not being successful. Just that we have to follow the process. So please remember this. Whoever we see, Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Talk about Krishna or about Krishna's instructions. This we have to do. Brahmana uchuhu. Tvam kratushtvam havistvam hutashasvayam tvam hi mantra samidarbha patrani cha. This is prose. When the verse is like this, it is prose. Tvam sadasyar vijo dampati devata agnihotram svadha soma ajam pashuhu. Ramana said, Dear Lord, your sacrifice personified. You are the offering of clarified butter. You are the fire. You are the chanting of Vedic hymns by which the sacrifice is conducted. You are the fuel. You are the flame. You are the kushagras. You are the sacrificial parts. You are the priests who perform the yajna. You are the demigods headed by Indra, and you are the sacrificial animal. Everything that is sacrificed is you or your energy. In the statement, Lord Vishnu's all pervasiveness is partially explained. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that as a fire situated in one place emanates its heat and illumination everywhere, so whatever we see within the material spiritual worlds is nothing but a manifestation of different energies of Krishna. The Brahmana statement is that Lord Vishnu is everything. Fire, offering, clarified butter, utensils, place of sacrifice, kusha is everything. It's confirmed herein that the performance of Sankirtana Yagna in this age is as good as all other yagnas in all other ages. This I've been saying repeatedly. We should simply do Sankirtana Yagna and make people understand that this is what we need to do for this age, not fire sacrifice. If one performs Sankirtan Yagna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, there is no need to arrange elaborate paraphernalia for prescribed sacrificial ceremonies recommended in the Vedas. This is Prabhupada's instruction. There is no need. In the chant of the holy names Hare and Krishna, Hare means energy of Krishna, Krishna is the Vishnu Tattva. Combined together, they are everything. In this age, persons are harassed by the influence of Kali Yuga and cannot arrange for all the requisite paraphernalia for performing sacrifice as recommended in the Vedas. But if one simply chants Hare Krishna, it is to be understood that he is performing all kinds of yagna because there is nothing within our vision except Hare and Krishna. There's no difference between Krishna and his energies. Thus, since everything is a manifestation of his energy, it is to be understood that everything is Krishna in that way because everything is Krishna's energy, everything is Krishna. One simply has to accept everything in Krishna consciousness and he is a liberated person. One should not misunderstand that because everything is Krishna, Krishna has no personal identity. Krishna is so full that in spite of keeping himself separate from everything by his energy, he is everything. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter. He is spread throughout the creation as everything, but still he is not everything. Philosophy recommended by Lord Chaitanya is that he is simultaneously one and different. Achintya, Bheda, Abheda. Hmm. Bheda is different, Abheda is non-different. Simultaneously different and non-different. He's there, but he's also not there. He's there in the material world, but he's not there in the material world. He's there in the material world through his energies, but he himself is not in the material like that. Vampuragam rasayamaha sukaro damstraya padminim varanendro yatha duyamano nadallilaya yogibhir vyujjha prahartha prayigatra yagna kratuhu. Dear Lord, O personified Vedic knowledge, in the past millennium, long, long ago, when you appeared as the great boar incarnation, you picked up the world from the water as an elephant picks up a lotus flower from a lake. When you vibrated transcendental sound in the gigantic form of a boar, the sound was accepted as a sacrificial hymn, and great sages like Sanaka meditated upon it and offered prayers for your purification. A significant word used in this verse is Trigatra, which means that the transcendental form of the Lord is the Vedas. Anyone who engages in the worship of the deity or the form of the Lord in the temple is understood to be studying all the Vedas 24 hours a day. Simply by decorating the deities of the Lord, Radha and Krishna in the temple, one very minutely studies the injunctions of the Vedas. Even a neophyte devotee who simply engages in the worship of the deity is understood to be in direct touch with the purport of Vedic knowledge. So this is the Pancharatriki Vidhi, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaishcha Sarve Rameva Vedyaha. Purport of the Vedas is to understand him, Krishna. One who worships and serves Krishna directly has understood the truth of the Vedas. So we understand there's Bhagavata Vidhi, there's Pancharatrika Vidhi. Pancharatrika Vidhi entails Deity worship, Bhagavati Vidhi entails Shravanam Kirtanam. So mostly our process is Shravanam Kirtanam process, but Prabhupada also recommended Pancharatrika Vidhi specifically for grihasthas who are attached to material things so that they can become attached to the deity. But otherwise, Bhagavata Vidhi is good enough for perfection. सप्रसीदत्वम् अस्माकम् आकाङ्क्षताम् दर्शनं ते परिभृष्टसत्कर्मणां कीर्त्यमानेन्द्रिभिर्नाम्नि यज्ञेशते यज्ञविघ्नाक्षयं यान्ति तस्मै नमः. Dear Lord, we were awaiting your audience because we have been unable to perform the yajnas according to the Vedic rituals. We pray unto you, therefore, to be pleased with us simply by chanting your holy name. One can surpass all obstacles. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you in your presence. The Brahmana priests were very hopeful that their sacrifice would be carried out without obstacles now that Lord Vishnu was present. Actually, Lord Vishnu doesn't have to be present. His name is enough. Because when his name is chanted, he is present. It is significant in this verse that the Brahmana says, simply by chanting your holy name, we can surpass the obstacles. But now you are personally present. Performance of yajna by Daksha was obstructed by the disciples and followers of Lord Shiva. The Brahmanas indirectly criticized the followers of Lord Shiva, but because the Brahmanas were always protected by Lord Vishnu, Shiva's followers could not do any harm to their prosecution of the sacrificial process. There's a saying that when Krishna protects someone, no one can do him any harm. Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ke. When Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can protect him. The vivid example was Ravana. Ravana was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, but when Lord Ramachandra wanted to kill him, Shiva could not protect him. Lord Shiva could not protect him. If some demigod, even Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, wants to do harm to a devotee, Krishna protects the devotee. But when Krishna wants to kill someone such as Ravana or Hiranyakashipu, no demigod can protect him. So we don't have to worry about protection actually. Of course, I mean, many of us spend many years in the process of developing this faith that Krishna will protect us. It takes us years, many years. And for sincere devotees, Krishna will put them through situations to build that faith. If you don't have the faith, then Krishna puts us through situations to build that faith. But we should always remember in either whatever be the situation at the moment, it is just Krishna's form of protection. That's all, nothing else. That we might not be able to realize immediately, but we will realize over a period of time. So we don't have to worry about Krishna has given his word. All we have to do is simply surrender to him and he will take care. Just his holy name will remove all obstacles. Then we can just keep chanting Hare Krishna all the time. And we should always remember all obstacles means not obstacles as seen by us. These are obstacles in the path of our bhakti. Krishna will take care of them. Maitre Uvacha iti daksha kaviryagnam bhadras rudrabhimarshitam kirtyamane rishikeshe sanninnye yagna bhavane. Maitreya said after Lord Vishnu was glorified by all present, Daksha's consciousness purified, arranged to begin again the yagna which had been devastated by the followers of Lord Shiva. Maitreya continued, my dear sinless Vidura, Lord Vishnu is actually the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Yet because of his being the super soul of all living entities, he was satisfied simply with his share of the sacrificial offerings. He therefore addressed Daksha in a pleasing attitude. Bhagavad Gita it is said, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all the results of sacrifices, austerities, and penances. In whatever one may engage, the ultimate goal is Vishnu. The ultimate goal should be Vishnu. If a person does not know that he is misled, as the supreme person of Godhead, Vishnu has nothing to demand from anyone. He is self-satisfied, self-sufficient, but he accepts the offerings of Yagna because of his friendly attitude. Sarvalokam Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. When a share of the sacrificial results was offered to him, he appeared very pleased. Patram Pashpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. If any devotee offers him even a small leaf or a flower or water, if it is offered with love and affection, Lord accepts it and is pleased. Although he is self-sufficient and does not need anything from anyone, He accepts such sufferings because, as super soul, he has such a friendly attitude toward all living entities. Another point here is that he does not encroach upon another's share. In the yajna, there is share for the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and a share for Lord Vishnu. He is satisfied with his own share and does not encroach upon others. Indirectly he indicated that he was not satisfied with Daksha's trying to deny Lord Shiva his share. Maitreya addressed Vidura as sinless because Vidura was a pure Vaishnava and never committed any offense to any demigod. Although Vaishnavas accept Lord Vishnu as the Supreme, they are not prone to offend demigods. They give the demigods proper respect. Vaishnavas accept Lord Shiva as the best Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava, there is no possibility of offending any demigods. The demigods are also pleased with the Vaishnava because they are faultless devotees of Lord Vishnu. So we respect, but we worship Krishna. Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita says Bhaj. Bhaj means bhajana, worship. That is only for Krishna. The other is puja. You can do puja, offer respect to demigods. But our worship should be for Krishna. Okay, let me stop here. If anybody has anything to say. Yeah, many devotees are not there today because they're all busy preparing for Vijayanagar Janmashtami. Okay, I also need to go. Let's stop here. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, धन्यवाद.